Hey, what's up, friends? Tyler here. So, I'm going to talk about dimensions. So, we are multidimensional beings enjoying a human experience multidimensionally. Now, what does that mean? From my perspective, different dimensions are like different strata of consciousness, different frequency bands that you can effectively tune into and have the conscious awareness of, say, the fifth dimension, the seventh, the ninth dimension, the fourth dimension, third dimension, and beyond. So I'm not talking about dimensional frequency like people talk about how the second dimension is like 2D and you can only see from this certain angles, and the third dimension is like 3D, like in movies and stuff. I'm not talking about it from like a scientific perspective at all. I don't even know anything about that, and I don't really care. I'm talking more states of consciousness. So, the third dimension is also known as density. Now, what is density? Well, it's what the word implies. It's dense. So it's like very narrow, not expanded. It's dense. It's like there's not much room for movement. It's like kind of enclosing, trapped. So density is like down here, kind of the lowest level of consciousness, and it's associated with things like very me focused, survival focused, competition, jealousy, ego, us versus them mentality, divided and conquered, just very sticky. That's a great way to describe it. Sticky, 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 mucky, the basement. So people in low density consciousness don't see clearly at all. They're very much trapped in doctrine, dogmatic, us versus them, group think, survival based, ego, emotional, very emotional. And when I say emotional, I mean more kind of like a slave to their lower emotions, lower nature. Like on the scale of consciousness, the lower emotions would be like shame, pride, grief, etc., etc. The density people are very much unconscious. Just that pretty much sums it up. Unconsciousness. Trapped in the game board of life. Trapped with the, trying to shuffle the pieces around forever and ever, playing this game, so caught up in the Maya dream fog, the game, the shiny objects, so to speak. My teacher would always say, you can't play your way off the game board, right? So you could shuffle the pieces around, you could get a new relationships, you could get the new job, you can et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, do the ritual, the bing, bang, boom, blah, blah. So you can't play your way off the game board. The only way is to lift dimensional consciousness. So that brings us to the next one. Fourth dimension. This is kind of like where a lot of disincarnate spirits hang out, in the fourth dimension, because they don't have a body. They're looking for a body. And the fourth dimension, again, associated with like emotional reactivity and things of that nature. So now let's get to the higher ones. So fifth dimension, everyone talks about the shift to 5D, fifth dimension. And yeah, so fifth dimension, from my experience, is sort of like a base. It's like you popped. You lifted off the game board, and you now are in this fifth dimensional base of consciousness awareness. So like my teachers used to say, to lift to the fifth dimension is about having enough compassion, love for yourself, and that will lift you up. Another way is through music. Music has a tendency to be able to be like a slider, lift you to the fifth dimension. And probably the best way is through your own joy, being in joy, doing things that bring you joy. Joy is the elevator portal that can shoot you up a couple notches. And I would say the other best way is to deal with the things that are holding you down in the density. So the traumas, the dramas, the heavy emotions, the shadow, etc. So dealing with those, letting go of the weights that are holding you in those lower frequencies. Then as a natural byproduct, because you're lighter, you can lift up to the higher frequencies. Because your natural state is that of things like peace, love, joy.